welcome everyone to another session of the Half-Rate Heroes Adventure. Taslin will be joining us as soon as Taslin is able to. But before we jump into the adventure, just by way of quick announcements, for those of you who do celebrate it, happy Easter. And for everyone else, a happy April 21st to you. I hope you enjoyed it. For the adventure, before we delve too deep into the adventure proper, I just want to remind everyone to go ahead and use those follow buttons, those subscription buttons. They really help us out. Tune into all of our other shows that we run. We rebroadcast this episode every Monday. Tuesday nights we have the World of Horror game, and on Fridays we rebroadcast that as well. So, our heroes in the Feywild. Last session, having destroyed this nasty tree in a complicated way, but you did it as was needed. The evil tree was wrapped around or somehow left behind when it was destroyed a strange piece of bark. After some experimentation, the party discovered this weird piece of bark which would not move when not being manipulated by the hands of another person. When not held in the hand of someone, it will not move. So backpacks don't work. You let go of it, it's not going to drop, it's going to stay stationary. Well, this bark turns out is some form of spellbook. Lafcadia was able to figure out how to open it and activate it. Unfortunately, the book seemed to resist all kind of magics, including an identification spell, and the spells inside the book were all written in Druidic that no one in the party was able to understand. So we now find ourselves headed into Raziel's hometown, her little village within the Feywild, to have some R&R, more or less, and to discover a little bit more about the book. Apparently, for what she says, her elders in the village should be able to help out and give some information. Now, the village is a small space. Everyone there has their own little hut that is on slight stilts, and I don't mean like huge up in the tree kind of village. I mean like 3-foot stilts, so that if there happens to be a flood, it just passes by the village without any problem. The buildings do position themselves in concentric patterns around the trees, so that people could, if they were so inclined, climb up onto the roof of one and move from roof to roof to from building to building all around these trees. However, the forest that you're in is thick and dense, such that if you're not inside the village or looking at it in a very particular direction, the actual village can't be seen. Raziel has taken you to her home. It's not much. It's a small little hovel where you can rest for the night, and she intends to, while you're relaxing in her home, she intends to go and speak to the elders and privately to discuss the situation with you all, which does leave you alone inside her hut. Her hut is very simple, very small. She just has a small bed that's big enough for one person, a pot that's currently boiling with something liquid inside of it, and that's about it. All of her trinkets and clothes and items, supplies are thrown around the room with a little bit of recklessness, and hanging from the ceiling she has little garlands of various different kinds of vegetables and produce. So, you have some time by yourselves as a group while she goes off to talk to the elders. Is there anything you guys would be doing?
So she just started boiling some nondescript liquid and then left? It didn't tell us what it was.
No, she didn't start it boiling. It has been boiling since, like, when she walked you into her home, it was already going. And she didn't mention it, didn't think anything of it, and just didn't regard it, and just walked out.
Magic stew.
Is it like in a cauldron, or is it in like a pot?
It looks to be a pot, not so much a large cauldron, just more like a pot, under which is a flame. The flame is a continual flame, not an actual fire. So it is magically heating the liquid.
So it was boiling when we came. Does it smell like anything?
Check. Just waft it into your face.
I got this image of Kale moving towards the pot and be like, "What's this?"
What kind of check was I doing?
Investigation.
35. I rolled a 20.
35. All right. Well, so the liquid in here is just simply water. It is still water. It looks clean. It looks, however, that the bowl that it's in is actually generating the water, like a decanter of endless water almost. It's keeping itself filled. The flame that's keeping it warm is boiling the water, making sure that this room will stay warm through steam and evaporation. She's combined a continual flame with a bowl of endless water to have central heating.
Okay. That's weird. Most people just use the fire, and that's it.
Well, it kind of dries out your skin a bit. This, keeps humidity in the air. It's really quite ingenious.
I guess so. I would think this place must be pretty humid already if they felt the need to put their homes on stilts. It might just be a cycle of floods that happen now and again.
Or crocs.
Rare. What did you just say?
Crocs? There could be crocodiles.
Oh.
Crocodilians.
Oh, I thought you were talking about some abysmal footwear I heard of when we were in Neverwinter. Yeah, maybe. You think they're on stilts to stay away from crocodiles?
Could be. We should ask.
Would love to ask, but she left.
All right, you can ask me, and I'll tell you.
Are there crocs?
That's ridiculous, Kale. Where did you come up with this nonsense?
Gosh, I don't know. I have an overactive imagination, I guess. What else, guys?
So, do you just wait for her there patiently?
Wampum is going to walk around the village and see if he can find something to drink.
Oh, hold up there, man. I think that she's talking to her leaders to tell them that we're here. I think if we walk around and nobody knows we're here, it could start trouble. Are you sure you want to do that?
Is that your understanding, Taslin?
Taslin is solemn and quiet.
It won't be bad. I won't cause no trouble.
Okay. Mind if I go with you? I got whole list of stuff.
Let's go find something to drink.
I'll go with you guys too. I might as well. If anybody has an issue, at least one person being an elf in the group might help.
Well, I guess I'll drag Taslin along too. Let's all. It makes no sense for us to be in here.
You're absolutely right.
All going. All right. So as soon as you leave the little hut, so Deceiving. You can't hear me, can you?
We can now. Just now.
Right. Okay. All
I
right.
just hiccuped for a minute, for a sec there, but you're good now.
Wonderful. So, as you step out into the village, the sun is beginning to weigh tops of trees, causing the shadows to begin to elongate. But the floor and the huts stay illuminated, even though the place is getting a little bit darker. Almost like the huts themselves are giving off very dim light to the area. Each of these little hovels and huts is a small straw wicker hut with a open doorway and a window. And as you walk out right away, most of you with your passive perceptions will be able to see tiny heads, small heads poking up over windowsills with their eyes barely poking up, just staring at you. And when I say tiny, probably young children.
I'll wave at them.
And they just hide away straight away. You'll hear a little bit of giggling off in a few different directions. Walking away a little bit, getting to a vantage point where you can see through the doorways, you'll see parents almost stood in front of the children, keeping them back as they just watch you walk past them. Most of the huts to you look the same. There are some that are slightly different sizes, one or two that look like two huts that have just been stuck together, and one large hut that's raised up above all the rest, about 30 foot up in the trees at the back of the village. How are you going to be, like, when you say you're looking for something to drink, are you just going to be walking through looking for a tavern, or are you going to be actually speaking to people asking for drinks, or shouting beer?
I will be looking for a tavern, but when I see the parents that are pushing their kids back, I'm going to be pointing at my mug.
They might think you want to shove them in your mug and drink them.
Roll the persuasion check, Wampum.
Persuasion. What is that? That's a big old 10.
10. Okay. The first person you do that to will nod and then reach back behind them into some shelves area, turn around with a large jug, and it's a curved, ornate-looking vase made out of porcelain. How they got porcelain, who knows? And she'll walk it, this woman, this female Eladrin, steps just outside her hut, puts it on the floor, and then backs away.
Oh, nice.
I'll go over and fill it, and then put it back, and nod, like, thank you. And then
I will
say
thank you in Sylvan.
Is there anything
How
that...
do you... Hey, Elf, how do you say thank you?
I repeat the word for thank you in Sylvan.
And I do my best to butcher it.
Is there anything you folk want in exchange for this beverage? Do you deal with gold and silver?
Speaking in common, do you need the drink, or do you want the drink?
Want.
Okay. Do you have meat?
Meat.
Meat.
We can go.
I think we've got some rations, right? Is there? I mean, we eat them from time to time. I reckon there might be some dried meat in there.
I'll leave 2 rations in place of my drink.
Okay. And thank you, visitor. thank you. They'll
Thank ye.
take the
Thank
rations.
ye.
The adult will ahead. She then turns to her children, gives the dried ration to them to
Aw.
try, and they like it because it's a new taste for them, and they're a little bit excited by it. All right, so you've done well at least to kind of build up the relationship there. The drink that you've been given is a very sweet wine.
I'll take a sip out of it. Do I like it, or is this like something a dwarf would not like?
Are you a big fan of?
I am more of the person who enjoys the stronger end of things.
Okay. No, this is never going to get you drunk. Tastes nice. Never going to do it.
I am going to head my way to a tree and go ahead and dump it behind the tree.
I slide up underneath it like, ah.
And the elves just look at you confused.
They'd be like, aha, I know it.
I assure them in Sylvan that this is a normal.
At this point, a few steps. Sorry.
We lost you, man.
No.
You're frozen.
That's not. Yeah.
There we go.
It's
Give me 5 minutes, guys. I'm gonna reset. See ya.
So, we make our way through the village, and we see the big thing. And
I am still looking for something stronger.
They've got to have some good booze around here somewhere. There's like all sorts of crazy fruits around here. And, fermentation, that's a thing. So it's got to be real easy to acquire some somewhere. Maybe just that's not the right person to talk to. We should ask where things are.
I mean,
there might be like in front of an establishment that's open to the public. Sometimes folks will park their service animals or, modes of transportation. So maybe something like that will give it away.
The thing about this place is that it doesn't seem like it is very open to the public. It seems more like a sleepy little hamlet.
Ain't nobody tried to kill me yet.
Right? That's a big indicator.
well, at this point, to be fair, you're very intimidating. All of us are, to a degree.
I was smiling.
Were you?
I was.
It's just, I imagine it's hard to tell, with all that.
Welcome back.
Okay. Hopefully it's better.
So far, so good.
Okay. All right. So, after the display of pouring out the drink and then it being caught by Nos, a couple of the other elves in the hut start to walk towards their door. You're now starting to gather a crowd. No one really wants to be the one to speak out to you. So if you engage with them, that's up to you. But they're just curious the way that they're watching you newcomers. The one of them actually will speak to Kale. Recognizing the fact that you spoke Sylvan, they will speak in Sylvan back, questioning. So do all hobgoblins where you're from behave like that?
No. No, not all of them. But I mean, it's It's difficult to make sweeping generalizations about any species, wouldn't you say? I'm sure not every Eladrin behaves the same way. Not every, not every
True.
everything.
But the hobgoblins here are all the same. Wild
What are-
and feral.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to see one wearing a cape, let alone drinking from a drink poured down by a dwarf.
I can assure you that that's all perfectly. That part is perfectly normal behavior. Where we're from, even the cape wearing. I've seen a lot of hobgoblins wearing capes. That's not that weird. It's weird. Do people not wear capes here in the Feywild?
Hobgoblins don't. Hobgoblins, the hobgoblins we've encountered have been more like animals, base, natural.
It's hard to tell if you're just saying that because you don't like them.
Oh no. Some of my best friends are hobgoblins, but
Can you name
I-
3 right now?
okay, no, I can't. But I've known some. They just don't like to talk. They like to attack. That's you walk in interesting circles.
Yes, I can agree with that part. It's
Hey,
an interesting circle.
find me some strong drink, Elf.
I need a
The-
smithy as well. If you could.
Smithy?
Yeah, so my friends here, I don't know, do they understand that? Do they know common?
Yeah, they understand common.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They prefer to speak Sylvan, but they understand common.
Okay.
So they will ask you in Sylvan, what does he mean by stronger drink? What does he want the drink for?
He wants to be inebriated.
Oh, we have herbs for that. We don't have drink.
I will ask Wampum in common, how do you feel about smoking?
I prefer drinking, but do they got some stuff that make me feel like I'm drinking?
Sure.
If they,
And I
got,
mean,
if they got stuff to make me feel like I'm drinking, well then I can take a smoke.
they said they do. And just this is the last time I'll bring it up. Sorry to be a wet blanket, but if you keep doing this stuff, as I've said so many times before this, you might never want to leave this place. You get that, right? I don't know if I'll feel inclined to fix you either, because I've warned you so many times.
Oh, I keep forgetting that we's in this Feywild thing.
Well, what's all this? This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
It's not.
I'm quite...
So
Kale, I have a memory like a steel trap. I don't forget a thing.
I feel like I mentioned it before we went into the Feywild for the first time, so you should definitely have a memory of that time.
I agree with Lecadio. I don't think you said anything about anything.
Well, like I said, you guys do whatever you want. Surely
If it
I'm
makes you
just
feel
being
better-
an asshole.
If it makes you feel better, me and Wampum, a long time ago, we made a pact where if one of us gets taken over by something that isn't us, or something like that, we knock each other out and carry each other outside of wherever the influence of that thing is. We've got a backup plan.
Aye.
Yep.
So bring
Hook
on
'em
the
up.
smoke.
Yeah,
Okay.
take us to your hookups.
So they don't bring you herbs to smoke. What they'll bring you around to one of their huts, one of the homes, and let you sit down on top of what look like barrels, more or less, rather than chairs, just big, wide barrels. They sit you down on those, and then they present you with a small box of some dark green herbs. It is small shavings of some plant that appear to be quite stuck together almost. a little soft and sticky, and then they walk you through instructions of actually, like you would dip, take it, put it on behind the lip, and then they give you the same wine that you had drunk before, and instruct you to drink the wine through it, like actually pull it through and strain it almost through your teeth, through the herbs.
Finally, someplace where a gap comes in handy.
I'll go ahead and
Follow suit.
I'll look at Nos and say, that back still be there, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I'll roll me up a good little piece. Put it on my lip. Okay. Where's that drink?
And they'll give you more of it. All right. As you do follow suit and you sip it through, straining it as instructed, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw and a constitution save.
Wisdom, here we go. We got a 17 for wisdom. And my con is a 29.
All right. Okay. So you're not poisoned by this, which is good. You rolled very sturdy in that regard, and so you drink it through. It is immediately starting to have an effect on you. By succeeding, your vision completely goes black for a second. Then it rushes back. Your eyes flare with color as everything looks to you as if it was the negative form, like you were looking at negatives in a photo negatives instead of the natural. So everything that was white is now black. Everything and switches. Hey. Good to have you with us.
No,
That's some good shit.
With the wisdom save, you also did very well there, and you are not addicted to this stuff. But repeated usage will increase the DC. So for the next hour or so, you'll have backwards vision, negative vision, but it'll feel good. You'll feel buzzy, and you'll feel happy and excited about everything.
Are you
Us,
good?
I think you might want to try this shit.
Maybe later. I am interested, but I have some work that I want to get done before the day ends.
Everything is backy.
Wampum, what is it?
It's space.
Wampum will take out the big old finger. It's this shit.
Would you like to take his or have a new lump given to you?
Where are we getting the lump from?
From the Eladrin. So as they went exploring looking for drink, Wampum managed to find drink, but it was a very sweet wine. Not what Wampum wanted. He wanted something to get him inebriated, so they brought out some herbs.
Yeah, sure.
And,
I'll take a new one.
and
Okay,
this,
you're taking a new...
This is not the stuff you smoke.
Oh man, the wizard's getting high. I don't know about this.
So
So
what do I do with it?
With the instructions, you grab a little clump of this herb, stick it in your lip like you would with dip, and then you sift through the wine through it. You drink the wine, sift it through the herbs, and then through your teeth, and then drink.
Yeah, I'll take a small glob, pack it in.
Oh, come on!
Wow. We did just kill a giant tree. I'll go for a second glob.
There you go. Con save and a wisdom save.
Alright. That is a... For the con save, I have... What do I have? I have a +3. So I have a 20 for a con save.
Okay.
Then for my wisdom save, that is going to be a 19.
19. Okay. All right. With the con, you fail with a 20. You are poisoned for the next hour. Whilst poisoned in this way, you can't remember who you are.
Okay.
For the next
Okay.
hour. On top of that, you do have the vision blindness that Wampum is now experiencing, where everything is as if you're looking through the negatives of a film. Okay?
Yep.
So every color is the opposite of what it should be. With the wisdom save, you also succeeded, so you're fine there. It's some good stuff, but you forget exactly.
Nos, you look like a drow.
Oh no! Get it off!
Do I remember who they are, though?
Nope.
No, okay, so I don't remember any. Okay.
You remember a lot about the life and what you've done, but you don't remember you or your people. You know
Okay.
that they are people that you know, but you don't know anything about them anymore.
Okay. Alright, so I'll, as I'm, like, sifting this wine through, I'm just gonna, like, really glazed over eyes, just, like, staring at everyone, but not really attached to, like, the conversation, just like,
It's like normal.
Oh,
yeah.
so,
White saucer eyes.
so how is it, wizard?
Who?
You.
Me. It is delightful.
See?
You?
Huh?
Yeah. It's very, very good. You? Oh.
What's wrong with you?
Me?
Yeah,
Nothing. This is great stuff.
you can't handle your weed very well.
I'm handling it fine. No one's on fire or anything like that.
So, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. And who are there other Eladrin around us, or?
Oh yeah, so the party have actually done a fairly good job of making everyone feel comfortable around these newcomers. They traded for the drink for some food, and it's actually a family of Eladrin that have given you their private stash. So there's quite a few of them.
Okay. I'm gonna lean over to the closest one and just be like, "What's the name on this guy?"
And do you speak Sylvan?
I don't think so. I think I speak Elvish, so I would have spoken Elvish.
Okay. So Wampum, do you speak Elvish?
No, I do not.
All right. So they take one look at him, up and down. You know, in Elvish, I think he said his name was Susan.
Susan.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I mean, of course I knew that. How could I forget Susan?
Yeah. I believe when maybe you weren't here when he mentioned, but he told us that he's a really, really avid dancer.
And Taslim would go back to the conversation.
So, Smith, anyone?
So they don't have a designated smith that just does everything within the village, and one of the person that's giving out all of these drugs will happily instruct you to go to whoever you need. It's all dependent on what task you need doing.
I need Smith's tools. I'm willing to purchase.
Tools.
I need a crucible. I need a forge. I need an anvil, and I need a good hammer.
Okay. They will ask you once again, do you need these, or do you want these?
It's somewhere in between, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
It's a strong want.
It's a strong
Very strong.
want. Okay. All right. So, if you are happy with it, he'll go and collect, or at least he'll talk to a few people and get the things that you need. It's not going to get like the forge, but they do have small stuff. They don't have a large forge like you would see in that Wampum was working in.
I'm not making a
but
weapon.
they have small heated, basically small enough to just fit a tool in or a dagger in, a little billet of metal in, so you can work it.
Perfect.
So they have the stuff that you need, and they'll gather it up. It'll only take about 5-10 minutes to do so, and they will allow you to use them and even take them away. But as they say, it is a want and not a need. They ask you if you have anything to offer them. Gold isn't as useful to these people because they don't travel to the material plane that much, and gold isn't as used in their daily life. So do you have anything that you could trade back that would be useful?
No, but I can provide services if anyone is experiencing some house rot, or if there's a building that is becoming dilapidated. I could help you repair it for a little while.
Okay. They think about it for a moment and then come back to you with, okay, you can have and use these items if you're willing to spend 2 days doing repair work for us.
Okay, that's a bit much. Is there anything that you guys need me to go get? Or anything like that? Nothing too big, but like carrying like a couple of buckets of water up a hill or something like that.
Roll a persuasion check.
It was 14. It's tough when you just came back from the dead, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's very tough to get what you need. Okay. How about one evening of repair work? We have 2 buildings that we could really do with a little patch up. The rest can wait, but these are the most important buildings. If you fix those up, then with the tools, you're welcome to use the tools for it. If you fix them up, then you can take the tools with you.
Okay. Agreed.
Okay.
I've got a bunch of other stuff that I could acquire, but they're all wants. So if you guys are too small to provide those kinds of resources, then I would understand.
The chances of them having what you want and not being like, if you need it, they would give it to you. These people would be happy to give it to you if you needed it, and if you were to convince them that you needed it, that would be fine. But because they'd want to trade, and if you don't really have much to trade, then
I have so much to trade. I have 1,380 gold and 300 platinum, at least. That's on me, but I can't. They don't care about it. Is the thing. That is unfortunate.
Would you be willing? One of them will ask, would you be willing to melt down some of that gold?
That's exactly what I'm doing with the crucible.
Oh, well, then if you would be able to melt down some gold and craft us something, then you can have everything that you want.
Perfect. All right, you just give me a list of stuff that you want. Make sure it's no bigger than the forge that you provided, and I will get to work on that. Something else, and I'll write this down for you. Kale, can I borrow a piece of parchment?
Yep.
Borrow, have, and we'll be giving it back.
What do you have to trade?
I'm just gonna sit down on the ground like, ugh.
I'll just give her a
difficult.
I'll give her a page out of the book.
Thank you for taking pity on me.
Which one's Kale?
I don't know.
Me neither.
Say, because these guys know what this stuff does, so they're kind of giggling at how much it's hit you. Say, would you? Earlier you told me that you're a very good performer. Would you be willing to sing us a song of your hometown?
Oh. Hmm. Let me think on a good song.
Okay. All right. While he's thinking, the family that are giving Nos all of the equipment will ask simply for 5 golden rings. They'll give you dimensions and sizes for them. 5 gold rings. By the dimensions, should only take you, I would think, simply, maybe 600-700 gold pieces to melt it down and then use it. Does that sound reasonable?
No, that is not worth what I am acquiring. What I am acquiring is a small golden object about that big. I'm making it myself.
Right.
And then I just want some clothes.
Oh, fair enough. The problem with then they'll go with just one then at 150 gold worth of coin. The problem with melting down the coin is coins are not pure gold. They have a whole lot of impurities within them. So you're going to be losing out on monetary value when you craft. Does that make sense? Like, you're going to use a lot more coin to craft.
For my own thing, that makes sense. But for their thing, what I'm going to do is actually, coins are already in the position to be forged into rings. All you got to do is melt the center of them and then fold them around and then beat them a little bit in order to smooth them out.
That's good.
So
I guess.
that I don't need to crucible it. I don't need to melt it down in order to create rings. I'm not willing to spend 150 gold on that because it's not worth it at all, considering the lack of skill required.
Right.
So
I hadn't thought of the whole just punching.
no, I get it.
through
I'm a smith.
I thought
You're not?
you were going to go with just melting. All right.
Could she trade them a story?
Gold coins would be enough to be able to do it in that method. Okay.
Okay. All right. And if you could get me some clothes, some nice fancy LV clothes that look all pretty and nice, then we'll be squared up. We'll never have to talk about this again.
Okay. They'll get you some pretty clothes.
Good.
All right. By this time, Raziel will be walking back. It's good to see you've started making friends. Taslin?
Everybody turns and stares at him.
She's going to walk over and slap you. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, that's a... What was my constitution? +3, I think. That's a 14.
14. Okay, no, you're still out of it. You're maybe 20 minutes into the hour.
Okay.
She gives a very stern look at the elves next to it, who all kind of shrug their shoulders. Right, well, we need that to wear off before we actually go and meet with the elders.
I'll walk over and I'll touch him with the Staff of Healing, and I will expend some charges to cast Lesser Restoration on him. So he's.
Can I be mid bar in a song at that point?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So he's like warbling out like, "Drink with me, Two-Face, gone by."
And
really
stop.
Yeah.
Like, touch him lightly on the shoulder with the Staff of Healing.
And just mid-sentence, just like, "I'm so sorry."
Dang it! All right, then if you are good, let us go. Follow me, please. Sternly, she doesn't say anything else. She just turns around and starts walking away.
So
She'll
who's
lead
the
you.
drow?
It's you. It's Raziel. You know her.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Keep it together.
Okay.
Just be cool.
I'm cool.
I'll lean over to Wampum and go, "You can tell she's angry when she gets the simple commands."
She was angry at ye, not me.
She gets angry at everyone around when she's angry at me, unfortunately.
That's because you just can't handle ye weed.
You'll hear
Nothing?
Dude.
So she leads you towards the back of the village, back towards this larger tent. Walking towards the tent, she does turn around and stop and say, "Just to warn you, he is a spider right now." And then is going to walk on through. Hanging from the ceiling is a large spider up on the ceiling, using very intricately using his hands, front two legs and mandibles, trying to cook a meal at the back of this first entryway. There are doors that lead off into side rooms in this large space, but as soon as he sees you all walk through, he will shape himself back to his natural form, which is that of a fairly tall, old male human. Long white hair that is perfectly, not human, sorry, elf. Long white hair that is perfectly straight, almost greasy looking, that is slicked back. There's a bit of a hunch in his shoulders as he's kind of crouched forward, but he doesn't need any sort of assistance with walking. He just kind of shuffles towards you. His clothing is little more than a big robe, a brown robe, as he shuffles over. Hello, my name is Gutar.
Hi, Gutar.
Good evening.
I've been led to believe that we've been introduced already by Raziel. Is that true?
Yeah. She has told me that you need me to read a book.
Yep. Got it.
I would like to take a look at the book, but I must apologize before doing so. By this point, with him talking to you and with you pointing or not, he doesn't react to you pointing. You'll all be able to tell that he is blind. His eyes still look normal. They look like normal individuals, but he doesn't blink at all. They're wide, and he's looking towards the voice that he heard, which was Kale, but not towards anything else. Where is this book?
How do you get the book, right?
Got it right here, mate. And I will hold it out and try to guide the book to his hand and his hand to the book.
Okay. Grabs the book. You let him just take it from you, not like you're not holding on to it or anything
Nope.
like that.
Yep.
He'll open it. Oh. I cannot see this book.
Is that because you're blind, or is there some other reason?
I have some senses that allow me to see some form, but I cannot see the contents of this book right now. What do you know of the book? It feels big.
We found it at. It's all that remains of a vampiric blight spawning tree that we destroyed, and it was activated by speaking one of the names of Sylvanas.
Oh, interesting. Might I perform prayer with the book?
Sure. I mean, yeah.
Just so you know, mate, so far we haven't had any luck putting any magic into the book and getting anything out of it. Any revelation via magic. Just I don't know what you're about to do, but if it was that, I figured I'd just save you some time.
That was exactly what I was about to do. I, as the DM, see you with your hand up, but he doesn't.
No, it's
What would you like
fine.
to say?
I'm asking
Yeah.
you, DM.
Yeah.
Do I get the sense that this guy legitimately wants to aid us, or if he's aiding us only for his own benefit?
Roll an insight check.
19.
There is a personal motive in it, at least. He seems to be holding something back right now.
I'm gonna see if I can get Kale's attention subtly and just kind of give him like a wince, like,
Taslin,
Yes.
so they're talking to a blind drow, right?
It would appear so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know how much help I will be in regards to this book, so let's just sit back and watch and see where it goes, I suppose, you and I.
All right. I was just making sure that he's a drow, that's all.
I'm gonna kind of stand there in a flexed position to just give the impression that if he doesn't play by our rules in this particularly, he's inviting trouble.
But he won't be able to see us flexing.
You can feel it. So strong.
Could he roll a wisdom save real quick while I try and read his mind?
Okay. Yeah, he can roll.
He's probably got like a plus 20 or some shit.
Yeah, that's going to be a 22.
So close.
So close. Okay. All right.
Mate,
Would you permit me to perform? There is a ritual that I believe can allow me some insight into this, but it requires me to spend a bit of time with the book. I think maybe an hour by your reckoning or so.
What sort of ritual?
To beseech the nature spirits to guide me in understanding the book and its capabilities. Roll an insight check. Because I know you're... Yeah.
That'd be a big fat 17.
Okay. He wants to attune to the book. That's what he wants to do with an hour's time, ritually praying over the book. He wants to attune to it.
So here's my concern with that, sir. We don't know what this book will do, other than potentially spawn a vampiric tree that can wreak havoc across dimensional barriers. So giving you the time to attune to it, to access its powers, is unsettling, to say the least.
And if anyone is going to attune to cursed items, it might as well be me.
It's worked out in the end for us before a couple times, but
And not be trusted no drow.
is
There's no drow here.
so. But also, flip side of that, we don't know. We can't access any information about this book, so you're kind of our only choice at the moment. So, how about you explain to us everything you know about this book first, and then we'll see if it's okay for you to attune to it.
It feels like just a book, a heavy book, but a book. Without my eyes to see it, I can't tell you what I know about the book. because I don't know what I know about the book.
I mean, has anybody tried to cure your blindness?
Oh, we have tried. None of our poultices or spells have worked. Can you cure my blindness, traveler?
I can try. How did you become blind?
I angered a woman, and she cursed me blind.
All right. Curses I can usually do.
What did you do to anger the woman?
Keep a trial. You don't need to do anything.
Well, but there's something wrong with your eyes.
Yeah, well, we told you to be cool, man. Just
I did far too many things in my hubris of a young 200-year-old elf.
I know that age well.
well, I'll try and touch him with the staff of healing and lesser restoration him. See if that does anything.
So, lesser restoration removes the blinded condition. It seems not to work in this case.
Okay, that didn't work. Let me try something else. I will try and do Dispel Magic at 3rd level.
Roll a spellcasting ability check.
Hey, that was really good. I rolled a 19 naturally, so...
Okay.
The total, if we're going past spell slots, is, whatever, my wisdom. 24!
Yeah. All right, so more than enough there. As you cast the spell up upon him, his eyes focus just a little bit more, and he can see. Whoa! Whoa! And he looks through all of you. Oh! Wow! That's
Behold.
been a very long time. Oh,
Did I recognize that as a Dispel Magic? Like Hale did?
roll
Can I roll an
an
Arcana
check.
check? Yeah. Alright, that would be a 16, I think? Let's see. Yeah, 16.
16. Okay. Yeah. Dispel Magic is fairly early levels spell. 16 is more than enough to be able to notice what it was. Okay. Right. Thank you very much. What is your name again, sir?
Well, shit, I already gave my name to those centaurs. My name's Kale.
Kale. Thank you, Kale.
Sure.
Okay. Let me look at this book. And he'll open it.
While he's doing that, can I lean over towards Kale? And I want to whisper something to him? And I want to just note that I'm trying to be exceptionally quiet. So this guy doesn't...
Roll a stealth check.
Alright. That would be a 17.
Okay. You think you're being quiet?
Kale, do we really want to put our trust in someone that couldn't cast a Dispel Magic to handle this book?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. None of us are nature inclined as far as our magic goes, so just because they can't dispel magic themselves, and it felt as though it wasn't just a run-of-the-mill dispel. It took a little bit more energy than that. Trust is a strong word, but well, there's no harm in letting him read it if he can read it. None of us can read it, so.
That's fair.
Okay.
So I keep watching him.
Alright. So, this book, as he reads, is all written in Druidic, and he'll read it. He'll start to translate it for himself. Um, interesting. Oh, okay.
What's it say?
Well, the first portion of this is the spell book portion. There are spells in here that are being kept in. The second portion is a journal of sorts, telling an account of someone. I don't know their name. Didn't sign their entries. Detailing their travels, their investigations about this book, and the many things that they've done with it. It would appear this is not your average spell book. It is designed for druids, clerics, rangers, who don't typically use spell books. So...
Sure. I mean, I have one too. I'm gonna hold up the Tome of Denier. So that's not an alien concept to me.
So from the journal entries, as he reads through, he can effectively translate what this book does. Now, thematically, we're taking Leaves of Green from a previous edition, but the actual thing didn't translate over well. So this is my version of Leaves of Green. This magical spellbook requires attunement by a druid, nature domain cleric, or a ranger. So nature-based spellcasters. It has two features. The one you've already explored and experienced is the anti-magic feature. The spellbook is immune to all damage. Any spells that target the book will be absorbed with no effect. The book cannot be by any divination magic, and the book will not move unless being held by a creature. If the book is let go, it will remain in whatever position it was in last. The other, and then it can be used as a journal. The other portion is the spellbook feature. This book, while attuned to the spellbook, a creature can fill the book with a number of spells equal to their wisdom modifier. These spells do not count towards the limit of spells the creature can know or prepare, and at the end of a long rest, the attuned creature can change half the spells stored within the book rounded down for other spells they could put into the book. Attuning to the book removes all spells currently within the book. So it would allow druids, nature clerics, and rangers to have more spells at their disposal by use of the book.
Shit. I need to take a level of ranger. Damn. So I'll ask him.
The spells in the book are Bones of the Earth, Animal Shapes, Maelstrom, Primal Savagery, which is a cantrip, which is interesting. Cantrips don't usually go in spellbooks. Conjure Woodland Beings, Tsunami, Storm of Vengeance, Primordial Ward, and Transport via plants.
Okay.
I cannot ascertain any curse with this. You should be free to attune to it and use it yourselves if you are capable. However, the individual who last used this book mentions in their journal entries that they felt like they were being watched their entire time whilst in control of the book, constantly watching over their shoulder for danger, for who might take the book from them, and a fear that a powerful entity of unknown origin is hunting. And then it just stops.
Okay. Well,
You're muted, Taslim.
Got it. Is it possible he placed it in this creature to prevent whatever was chasing it from attaining it, as this creature had split into numerous planes?
It is possible.
it's also possible that whatever creature it was that was hunting them down caught up with them, and the resulting conflict is what caused the tree to come into existence in the first place. So, that's great. Thank you for your information. Is there anything else you can discern from the journal entries? Did they say, was there any indication of the last place that the previous owner would have been or heading to, or where they were, or?
They had intended to. They were here on the Feywild during their last entry, and they had intended to entreat with a powerful entity. A wise woman who would have all the knowledge of the wilds, whatever that means.
That doesn't sound like anybody you've heard of.
It could be many people. I mean, I consider Raziel to be quite wise. It does mention where they were going. An awakened grove. Now, that could... I don't know of any specific awakened grove, but it could be a place of importance.
Okay.
Are you sure you won't allow me to impart a moment with the book? I may be able to garner more information through attunement.
Now I flex.
No, that's okay. We will take it back and hold on to it for safekeeping. Just, it's no offense. I'm not sure how long the not being blind thing will last, and I'm not sure how defensible this village is. But if there is
even
some...
as you say that right now, as he's handing the book back to you, you can see that his depth perception is already a little bit off as he hands the book a little bit off from you. The blindness is coming back.
Yeah, let me before we go, let me try something else. One more thing. You said you were cursed, right?
Well, yes, I believe so.
Okay. I will go through my pack and I'll get out 100 gold worth of diamond dust, which I imagine by now I've like sorted it into little baggies that are taped up, kind of like drugs. But then I'll just like rip it open and like blow it on them and cast Greater Restoration.
I'd like you to make a spellcasting ability check.
Oh, I hope I roll.
I know the
good.
Greater Restoration spell doesn't usually require it. It will.
That one wasn't as good. 18.
18. Okay. That, unfortunately, you feel like the spell should have worked. However, there was a barrier of arcane energy that just is too strong for your magic to push past. While you are able to stem the flow of his blindness coming back in, and effectively it seems like you've just had the same effect as you had before. You've pushed it back for a couple of minutes. Whatever arcane power cursed him to be blind is too powerful for your average remove curse or greater restoration or whatever.
Let me check real quick how much diamond dust I have left. A lot, kind of. I can smash a lot of shit too. I got all sorts of diamonds to smash. All right, let me try one more time. I feel like I can get this to work.
All right. While he's doing that, I feel like I must do a public service. Please be responsible with whatever things you impart within your body.
Yeah, don't snort diamond dust.
Yeah, that will hurt. Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna do that again. Oh my god, dropped it.
Oh.
Okay, that's an 18. And then,
Okay.
So before I was gonna cast it this time, I wanted to guidance myself.
Okay, all right. So add a d4 to the 18.
Plus 3, and then plus 5, so...
That's a 21, 26.
Yeah.
In that, your power is strong enough to push it back. You almost physically see a shadow pulled from his face and cast out of the window behind him as his countenance shifts and changes. He seems immediately much more relaxed and excited and happy. Oh.
Does it make a sound when it flees? Is it like a scream?
No, it's just no sound. But as soon as it does disappear from him, that cloud over his mind, he's running straight forward to Kale with arms wide open to hug.
Yep, sure, that can happen.
He don't like no hugging.
Can I get a read on if it's a genuine he's going in for a hug and not like a stab in the back?
Roll an insight check.
Is he still holding the book in a hand? Or did he leave it?
Back,
Oh, you're right.
11.
11. You have no idea.
All right, she just kind of flinches a little bit.
But he wraps his arms around Kale, not really strong enough to squeeze or put too much pressure, and certainly not strong enough to pick up. But he puts a lot of effort into it. He almost is grunting a little bit as he. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Oh, thank God.
It has been so long. Honestly, never scorn a woman. Oh.
I won't.
Yeah, totally won't do that.
I think it's just a good rule of thumb just not to scorn people in general, regardless of gender.
Cool.
But, glad I could help.
Yes, you have done me a great service. For that, we party tonight.
Yeah.
May a festival be prepared in honor of the great Kale, savior of my sight.
We don't need to do. That's not necessary.
We do.
A party
Your
sounds
modesty-
fantastic.
Your modesty is impressive to me.
Well, it was just I was just doing. It was in turn. I felt like you helped us. I helped you. It's not. It wasn't. There doesn't need to be a party with my name attached to it.
His modesty is almost matched by his brilliance. They're hand in hand. This fella right here. He's great.
Then tell me, great Kale, priest of
Denier.
What is your favorite food that we may prepare it for you tonight?
I shouldn't.
Is it Denarios? The breakfast cereal?
I can't even imagine what he probably ate at Fort Tamall. Crocodile shank.
Crocodile shank it is.
Spiced
Raziel,
shank.
let us get it. Spiced.
Yeah.
Like, spicy as in tasty or spicy as in hot?
Both.
Okay. We must prepare a great feast of crocodile shank. Spices.
Do you have... are crocodiles common in these parts?
Not right here, but there is a swampland nearby, and there are rivers that we can find crocodile within.
Idle curiosity. No reason. Carry on.
Okay. All right. Then Raziel will excuse herself. I will start preparing for the hunt for crocodiles. He then invites you all to remain as within his home for as long as you wish, but the night is going to be drawing in soon. You've got a couple hours before the festival will have to start. He will forewarn you, the festival will last all night. He intends on there being plenty of enjoyment, music to be played, and games to be had as a reward for your great service, great one.
Sure.
Nice. They be having games for you.
Yeah. I'll get there when I can get there. Y'all don't get into too much trouble without me. I really need to start work on the smithing that I agreed to.
Aye, okay. You need help?
Yeah, if you're willing to give it. I don't know.
Sure.
Can you work like that?
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Okay.
The eyesight will switch back after a few hours, so by the time you get into the meat of the crafting, he'll be back to normal.
Cool. Yeah, if you're willing to work on the rings, then I'll just work on my own project.
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. I'll ask if they got a plot of open land, about 100 by 100 feet, anywhere nearby.
We can prepare such.
Well, I don't want to. You don't need to go ripping up trees and stuff for me. I'm just curious if there's a spot
We
about
need
that
not
large.
rip the trees up. This is the wilds.
Can
We
you
need
ask-
only speak to the trees and they will move.
How long would that take? Because I know they're trees. They don't really. Do they move? How fast do they move?
Never really clocked them.
But the one that chased us was pretty fast.
It got there, yeah. It really built up some momentum. You know what? That sounds awesome, and I would love to watch it happen.
While he's watching, I suppose I'll go join Raziel.
Okay. So she will be preparing for a crocodile hunt for tonight. There are crocodiles not, quite far away, but she knows how to get you there quickly. They have beasts of burden in this area that can move through the land very quickly. That she can get you up on. If you are willing to go and hunt with her, she will take it.
Yeah,
Judging by the size of the village, she's going to estimate we need maybe 20 crocodiles.
Yeah, Tasman would help.
She's then going to ask you what's a shank. Which part of the crocodile is a shank?
Do I need to make a survival check for that?
Yes.
Ooh, an 18 plus. Where's my survival? Where is it? Wow, I have a +7. I am actually surprisingly knowledgeable. That's a 25.
Okay. It is a leg. The part from the knee to the ankle is a shank, so a calf almost.
Yeah. So I will convey that. And Kale didn't specify any herbs, right? Or any specific spices?
He just said hot.
Okay.
So we'll get something hot.
Like fireball
Would it-
level hot?
Uh,
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
okay. So, deck save against getting burnt. Okay, there we go. 86. You've decided it. So, is anyone else in the party going to join Raziel and Taslin on the hunt for crocodiles? You don't have to.
Wampum will be helping Nos.
I feel like I might be a bit of a third wheel.
Okay.
So I'll just hang out with my buddy Kale.
So the Guta will lead you back around behind his home and begin incanting speech to the trees and encouraging them and ask to move aside to give you 100-foot by 100-foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Foot square, yeah. 100-foot square space. And bit by bit, they would lift up their roots and then turn themselves around and implant them in other places, and just kind of move by rotating through the earth rather than sliding. But the trees will answer his command and divide amongst themselves, making a space that is just 100 foot by 100 foot from tree to tree.
Cool.
So when you bring up the temple, I'm assuming you're bringing up the temple?
Nah, I got some 100-foot hammocks I wanted to set up. Yeah, I'm put temple.
Right. So as the temple grows, it'll grow with the trees right on the outside, like hugging the wall almost. It's that precise that the trees add and provide.
Cool.
Any changes to the types of creatures permitted?
Nope. Faye's good. Everything except for fiends and elementals. Elementals? No, fiends and undead. That was it. No fiends or undead, because we don't have the vampire anymore. So. And also, the only people that can open it are the party members.
Okay, sounds good. Right. What are you working on again, Nos?
Specifically, I'm going to melt down a bunch of my gold coins. I'm thinking about 15 will do. If they're like, dragons. And I think that will be enough to create a cloak pin that is of a horseshoe. And it's made out of gold. And it's a symbol not only of Timora and the Kiren, or the Kirin, but it's also kind of a very quiet, whispered homage to Allie. So it's an amalgamation of everything. It's a symbol of everything that's happened since we met.
Did Allie buy horseshoes?
She tried to buy something. I think it was in the form of a horseshoe. And the smith, which was the dwarf at the time.
Oh, he made it the little tiny
right
things. Yep, now
right.
I got it.
Yeah, so there was.
It's been forever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I still have those. I have 2 horse trinkets from Allie in my inventory still.
Mine melted in the lava.
Aw.
But yeah, I had one too.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah, I'm
Allie
making
still has one on her corpse.
I believe it. So yeah, I'm making a pure golden cloak pin that is of a horseshoe. And it's also my holy symbol.
Okay. All right. Then as you go crafting, Wampum helping you out with that, that'll be a good evening as everyone's preparing for the party. Out on the hunt with Raziel. It's a bit of a tense sort of situation between the two of you at first, but once the hunt actually begins, all pretenses are thrown out the window and it's just pure skill hunting. It's a pleasure almost to be out on a hunt like this with no issues about what's right, what's wrong. It's just we know what we're doing, we're going to do it, and we're going to get what we can. The hunt goes by very well. Let's see how well you do compared to her. The goal is to get 20 crocodiles, and we'll see who gets the most out of the 20. Which of your skills will you be putting to the test to exemplify yourself during the hunt?
Alright, so Taslin's pretty good with survival skills, so he may be like setting up some bait, or like he knows kind of where crocodiles would be eating fish, usually like in stream inlets. So he'd be utilizing that, and then probably Arcana to actually kill them. He'd probably use like either not a fireball, but like scorching rays specified in certain areas to like overheat the crocodiles because they're cold-blooded, so they die quickly in the water.
All right.
My girlfriend has lizards, that's why I know that.
So, survival then?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll a survival check. What's the result there, Taslin?
12.
12. Okay, so she is going to do similarly. See how she does with her. Okay. Plus 8. She rolls a nat 1.
Huh.
You guys separate for a little bit and then regroup after you're getting tired and you've been hunting so many of them and you've gotten yourself a nice little pile of 15. You figure, okay, she can't have beaten me, and you come back to find that she's hanging upside down from a trap that you had set earlier on, and trying to get herself out of it but failing to do so and refusing to make any noise for fear of alerting you that she had struggled so much.
Okay. Let's see what spells I have today. Let's see. I will. I wanted to cut the rope without her really seeing it. I don't have mage hand, so I can't really do anything with that. So I guess what I would do is, because chill touch isn't really a visual thing, I create like a ghostly skeletal hand. So Taslin would stay maybe like, he'd probably spot her like 100 feet away probably. Mm-hmm. And so he'd kind of hide behind a tree, cast that cantrip of chill touch to kind of freeze the rope so it's more brittle and easier for her to break when she struggles. But he'd already be rushing in once he starts casting that because he's going to Dimension Door right underneath her to catch her.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
Alright.
If you're trying to hide the fact that you're making the rope more brittle.
Yeah, alright. Let's see. 18.
18. Okay, so she's a little preoccupied. She doesn't notice the hand that wraps around the rope and the fact that it goes cold. It snaps. You're running to catch her, trying to get under there. Now you're using Dimension Door, right?
Yeah, so I can teleport to a spot 500 feet.
Yeah. So you quickly do so. Drop down. She's going to crash down on top of you. Like 3 points of bludgeoning damage, limited anything that you would take. But she's going to be very angry at first, very embarrassed, and then eventually she calms down. Seeing your success, you did better than she did. She'll concede the victory to you, Taslin.
How gracious. Taslin will, while they're walking back, he's gonna... are they, like, hauling it by the animals, like putting it on a sled, I'm assuming? Like, stacking it?
Tying ropes around the tails of each of the crocodiles and attaching them to the back of the animals and just dragging them through.
Okay. So as they're walking back, Taslin would make a point to just kind of... rather awkwardly, he'd be like, well, I know I'm not the person I used to be, but I hope someday I can be someone you want to know again. And he'll cut off a lock of his hair and, like, give it to her as a gift.
Shucks.
Yeah, he's smooth.
She'll start to blush.
Yeah.
And already begin to shift seasons almost in front of you. Usually takes her a long rest to shift, but you're causing it to shift. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You get all the food, you bring it back, everything's ready for the party. Everyone's going to enjoy themselves. Unfortunately, Wampum, the party will involve unlimited amounts of the watered down sweet wine. So the only way it's going to have some impact on you is if you mix it with something else. But otherwise, they are already preparing a large party that's inside the the actual village proper. They're putting up little banners and decorations, garlands that they have prepared for such festival-like occasions that wrap from tree to tree and create a nice little outdoor festival in front of you. One of the children begins a beautiful performance, singing by himself a cappella some sweet tunes of Elvish descent. Will take requests, but most likely doesn't know the songs that you would request. But the party that they throw isn't a wild party that you would expect, isn't loud music, it's soft sounds, and the food is provided for all to enjoy, laid out on a large tarp on the floor in the middle, and everyone is more or less just sat around talking amongst themselves when the feast begins.
So you said there was a couple hours while they were out like hunting crocodiles and stuff. So after setting up the temple, Kale would have gone inside to ritual cast some divination.
Okay.
And you get the incense out, you light it with a firebolt, the whole rigmarole, and he asks, what would be the best way to find the last owner of the book, the leaf book?
The best way to find the last owner of this book.
Ooh, he's thinking.
Yeah, trying to think of what is the best way to find this individual. Gotta love divination, because it's clerics.
Would the book's property of immunity to divination thwart this spell?
That's what I was wondering too, yeah.
I'm thinking it might, in so much that the response, you would get a response, I think it would be fair to say. But the response would inform you that obviously knowledge about the book is hidden from all gods' sight. However, the trail that the book has left behind may have been chronicled in many places. Find a source of ancient knowledge, and you may be able, like a large library of sorts, you may be able to chronicle the book's movements and figure out who it was from the gap it's left behind.
Or what if we just followed that tree back to... It probably left big gaps in the ground. Well, there's probably a system of ditches that it dug over the last couple of years or whatever.
Like that one scene in Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they're just following the... Yeah.
Well, I mean, but also doesn't the
destruction.
Feywild kind of move, so like portions could be like disconnected?
That's true. Alright, well, good to know. That's something. So basically I got a reply saying, oh, well, let me Google that for you. Look it up yourself.
You're sick of your shit.
Yeah.
In fact, you very much get a vision of yourself walking into a large library and going through all of those books.
What does the library look like?
Candlekeep.
Okay.
Candlekeep Library.
Right.
If anywhere has information that can be garnered about this book and its past, it would be through the Emerald Enclave, because Lafcadio has confirmed to you that it is an Emerald Enclave relic, or Candlekeep and its large library.
So there isn't like a Candlekeep thing on the Feywild? Like in that same spot, there isn't like a Feywild library version of Candlekeep, some big tree made out of itself, books wise inside it. I don't know.
If I had thought about that prior to this session, absolutely, because that sounds like a wonderful idea. However, I didn't prepare anything for such a scenario here.
Okay.
But that does sound like a really good idea, a Feywild version of the Candlekeep colleges and library.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. Good to know. That's all I would be doing. Edra and Camilton Diaz could be they'll be in the thing, in the temple. And I'll, whenever the party's gonna happen. So Lafcadia's with me, right?
That's right, mate.
Hey, do you think you could just look like me and just go, and I could just stay here? I'd really appreciate it.
But the party's in your honor, mate. Why don't you want to be there?
I don't like parties. There's noises and people, and I'm good.
Sure. I have no problem doing that for you, mate.
I appreciate that. Oh, also, can you put me in touch with somebody from the Emerald Enclave that might know more about this, since they used to belong to them?
Of course. I'll tell you exactly who I know in the Emerald Enclave, and that person's name is.
That person's name is. Where is it? Let me. Because I has it here.
It's like a real canonical.
Here we go. Melanor Fellbranch. There you go. There's a name. Melanor Fellbranch.
Where are they?
Waterdeep.
All right. Makes sense, because that's the book you grabbed. Dragonlance.
Yep. Off the top of my head, that was the first thing that had a Emerald Enclave agent name in it. So there you go.
Okie dokie. All right, good to know.
So do you agree? Are you going to look like Kale for the night?
Yeah, I'll test it out right now. I'll make my appearance in clothing using my mask of many faces. Look like Kale.
And roll a deception check at advantage, because these guys don't really know Kale that much.
I also have the actor feat.
Sure. So you already have advantage.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. So in which case, what is your proficiency? Oh, that's
So
a
it's
natural 20.
Natural 20, so a total of 30.
Okay. I was going to say, just simply because you've got the actor feat and everything, we can double your proficiency bonus here, but that's already pretty good anyway. So, with a 30, you almost convince Kale that you could be Kale for a moment.
You're better at it than I am. You'll do way better with the party thing. And also, I was just kind of concerned that if every one of us partook in, the libations, that I wouldn't be able to, cure that if it became a problem.
Right.
So that's my reason.
We'll need a convincing cover story for me now, in case anyone asks where I am. Not that I'm anything to write home about, but so if someone asks me where I am, what do you think I should tell them?
What do you think you would do? You would be doing communing with Nabanian, maybe?
Sure, but maybe I'm tracking down those three blokes, just because I remembered one very important thing that I needed to tell them before they left.
Sure. Yeah, you know the most. So.
Okay. So, being invited to be the guest of honor, Lafcadio Kale is brought to the head of the large blanket that has food on it. It'll take them a while to do most of the preparations, so I don't know how long your tasks, Nos, will take you, but I would think you'd be able to enjoy most of the meal.
Cool. If there's any way that I could get like a bath in those clothes before the party starts, that would be great too.
a bath in the clothes? Or
No, a bath
at
and
the
some clothes.
Oh, right. Oh,
Like a normal person.
yes. I misheard you. I'm sorry. Yes,
You take a
absolutely.
swim
They-
Scrooge McDuck style through a pile of clothes.
It's later.
Okay, I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking just get in the clothes and get in the bath.
Depends on how old the clothes are.
You can do so. You can be washed up nice and clean. The clothes that they provide for you are very pretty. In fact,
Yay!
they look like they're a kind of a light brown leather, but flowers are still growing out of them.
Oh, flowers.
Like
Oh.
it's alive with little pretty flowers just all over the place.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna wipe those off, and I'm gonna continuously wipe those off as they grow.
Okay. They'll grow slowly, so it'll be a case of once a day you might see a little bud starting to poke out of the side of the cloth, and you have to swipe away.
This is gonna ruin my street cred. Yeah. So if the party's going, and if we're all eating,
Yep.
and if I'm bathed and I have the good clothes, I'm gonna walk up to Luff Kale
Kale.
with a shank, and I'm kind of just gonna sidle up to him and go, "So, wouldn't have pegged you for a fellow that likes spice."
Well, there's a lot about me that you wouldn't know, Nos.
I'm starting to understand that.
And
Okay.
one thing you should know about me is I like crocodiles and spice. That's two things, but now you're ahead of the game.
Would you like to insight check?
That right there is not something Kale would say.
Yeah.
He had some of the weed liquor. Yeah, he just had some of the weed liquor, man. I got a 7. Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't think there's any way that I could actually defeat his deception of a 30. I don't think it's possible.
No, not really. But if it was high enough, I would have said you'd understand the deception. Like a low result, you would think someone's you don't know. Mid, someone's deceiving. High, okay, it's Lafcadio.
Okay. So now, since I failed that, I would like to make another insight check, but this one is to understand whether or not he's picking up what I'm putting down.
Okay. Insight. Well, how would we find out if he's picking up what you're putting down? Contested.
I think that Locadio should actually be the one doing the insight check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more persuasion from you, right?
Yes,
Yes.
that would be correct.
Okay. So persuasion from Nos, insight from Lafkale.
And I want him to know what I'm thinking, so...
Okay. All right.
I got a
Yeah.
7 for my insight.
You've got some understanding of what she's going for, but maybe not completely.
Is there something else you needed, Nos?
Nope. I'll turn around and walk away.
I wish Taslin was watching this crash and burn.
She's walking away and her ears are twitching like crazy.
Right. After about an hour or two of the feasting and the drinking and people just having a good time, kind of calmed down, partying, as I mentioned before, there will come a point where the games are announced to begin. First game, very simple, is going to be a large game of charades. everyone who wishes to partake is invited to pick a creature that is either Feywild or material native and act it out to see if anyone else can guess what it is. Would any of you be interested in partaking?
Taslin will.
Yeah. So what is Taslin going to pick?
He's gonna be a crocodile. Because he's not creative.
And how do you play a crocodile in a game of charades?
Okay, so, he'll kind of put his hands like this, and then back, like, really loud, like, making, like, teeth with his hands, kind of maneuvering his body so it's like he's swimming.
And do you shout out like you just did?
No, just, I had to.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see how well the elves do. Performance check.
That's a 14 plus 0, so 14.
14. Okay. You do a pretty good job, and it's fairly obvious because people are enjoying crocodile right now. And so it doesn't take long before someone does call out that it's a crocodile. Right. So you get to sit down. Will any of you partake? Anyone else?
I don't think Kale would partake, so I solemnly just eat my shank.
Okay.
Right. I go in for thirds.
There are a few other elves that get involved in the game that try to describe and not describe, but try to portray certain creatures. One gets down on his knees, looks like he's picking up a big stick, puts it on his shoulder, and just.
Is it an Etten?
Not quite an Etten.
Is it a Fomorian?
Ill present. Nope.
Is it a Fomorian?
As you're calling out for Morian, you can see the elf look a little despondent and annoyed. Yes, but I didn't get to the best part.
No. Please, I'm sorry.
Nope,
I'm so
nope.
sorry. Please continue.
Everyone knows that a Fomorian's best part is the eye. Well, they step down, but as per the rules of the game, it's Kale's turn. So.
All right, I have an idea.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you do in describing that idea?
So I do like a fin up here.
Okay.
And I swim around, but I'm also very small. And then I do this.
One of the elves will shout, Aboleth?
God damn.
Piranha?
Was Taslin right with Piranha?
He was not.
No. They think for a while. Shark! Nope, no shark. Baby shark?
You got it!
Do.
No. Alright, so, charades, and they all had a good time. All good. Next comes the wrestling. Would any of you like to partake of the wrestling.
I'll stand up and I'll say, I'll do this if you want me, but be warned, you will not win.
It is King of the Hill style wrestling here. They set up a large ring that is up a mound just outside of the village area, and quite simply, you have to stay in the ring at the top for the longest. And if you are knocked to the ground or thrown out, you're luck. So a couple contenders go in. Is anyone else in the party going to get involved and potentially end up against Nos in this? Nope. Okay.
Me. How drunk am I right now? How many glasses has Taslin had?
Too many. Roll a con save at disadvantage.
Okay.
Too many.
Too many? That's 11.
Yeah, okay. Roll an insight check. Go on.
At disadvantage, or?
Yeah, disadvantage.
Okay. I'm just gonna do it through here then. So a 9?
Okay. All right. He is completely oblivious to the fact that Raziel is currently trying to get him blind drunk, and whenever he's looking away, she is refilling his cup with another glass of wine. So you are far more intoxicated than you think you should be, and so you think you're fine, but you're not.
Yeah. Okay.
So you suffer from the poisoned condition, but you don't think you should be suffering from the poisoned condition.
Okay.
Would you get involved in the fight?
I feel like he'd be sitting up, like, he's like, I'll be there after this cup. And then he'd, like, go to drink it, and then, like, set it down, then it'd be refilled, and then he'd repeat the sentence the same time, like, third, fourth time in a row. And then he wouldn't partake.
Alright. Then Nos. As, first of all, to claim the hill. What are you going to... there are a couple of these elves that aren't really physically strong, but they're very lively, very dexterous, and most of the time they're just using everyone's momentum to throw or twist each other out of the hill, or off of the hill. So to claim the hill, what are you going to do? In this moment, you actually have one of the children that has proven himself to be very quick, very good with hand technique, taekwondo style martial artist, soon to be monk adventurer at some point. This little kid has taken the hill right now. What do you do?
Walk forward and take it from him. I'm all about raw strength.
Okay.
So I am literally just a moving wall. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of like pick him up by the scruff of the collar and set him down outside of the circle, dust him off a little bit, that kind of thing.
Okay, then to grab hold of him, to grapple him, roll an athletics check.
Ooh, 13. It's very low. I think I rolled a natural 3.
Your first attempt, he slides underneath your hand and gives you a little pat on the shoulder as he hops back. Ooh.
Okay, all right. I'll smile a little bit, and then I'll go take the position at the very center of the circle, and I'll go like this.
A little bit annoyed and despondent, because obviously you're not moving, and that's what his technique is all about. So he is going to, after a second, he is going to try and run straight at you.
Can I catch his head so that he does one of these? Can't touch
roll
me.
an athletics check. At advantage because your feet are rooted.
23.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You see, he tries to pick up quite a bit of speed, hoping that maybe the speed can make the difference. But no, one hand right on the forehead, and he can't reach you. He barely can get past your elbow. He tries to grab hold and move your hand out of the way, but he just doesn't have the physical strength to be able to do so. Let go of me!
Can I offer you a compromise? What say you to joining forces? We both occupy the same position at the top of the hill.
But we can't both be king.
Who made that rule?
That's just how you play.
Says
Roll a
who?
persuasion check if you'd like to try to convince him.
20.
Okay. All right. Tag team.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duck underneath, and I'm going to actually go in between his legs and my head, and then I'm going to pick him up so that he's on my shoulders. And then I'm going to resume my position like this.
Okay. People are confused at first, trying to figure out whether or not they should wrestle you with one of their children on top of your shoulders. But the kids have been pretty good, so they're going to give it a try.
Okay.
One of the elves, a larger, stronger individual, is going to walk up towards you. Not run, walk slowly towards you, and just try to shove you. Shoulder shove. So, athletics check.
26.
He goes for it, and he just can't. He pushes on your shoulders, but there's no movement. Nos will win the game of King of the Hill, and be brought a prize at the end of it, which is a belt made out of interwoven twigs.
I'm totally giving that to the kid. We both won. We were both occupying the center of the... We were both kings of the hill the whole time.
Okay. Well, whenever you come back, you can wear it, and I'll wear it when you're not here.
Deal.
Okay. So, he gives you the belt for now. All right. So, King of the Hill ends. When that's finally done, the night is moving on. The individuals here are getting a little bit more rowdy. The little calm singing shifts to bawdy, chanty-like songs, screaming and shouting, and eventually someone starts a battle of the bands. Would any of you performers be interested in getting involved in a bard-off? Nope. Fair enough.
That's fair.
Okay. All right. During this evening, while everyone's having a good time, everyone's enjoying themselves, Taslin, Raziel is getting you drunk to the point of you're going to black out.
Yep.
You'll black out right about the same time as you see Nos winning the King of the Hill. At that point, the next thing you remember is waking up the following morning in Raziel's hut.
Okay.
Okay. The party continues, dies down eventually. People get tired and they go home after the Battle of the Bards, but then separate their own ways. Everyone back to the temple, except Raziel and Taslin, sorry. Is that where everyone would go, or would people go elsewhere for any particular reason?
I think that at the end of the night, I'm going to ask Wampum if he's got any more of that stuff.
Aye.
Yeah, can we want to share it?
That wasn't good stuff. All right. I'll be watching over ye this time.
Okay, thank you. And then I get to work with it real fast.
Okay. So when you say stuff, you mean the stuff that Wampum had taken earlier?
Mm-hmm. Stuff that gets you messed up.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you doing it for the purpose of getting messed up? Would you?
Yes.
Are you willing
I want to
let
forget who I am and what has transpired in the last about hour.
All right. Yep. So you'll have that effect because you willingly go for it. You really want it. But with that, roll the wisdom save against the potential addiction. It's not difficult. Yeah.
Nat 20.
Yeah. 20. Yeah, you're easily able to withstand it. It has the desired effect. You immediately forget who you are and who anyone around you is. But you know what? It just feels right to be having this moment right now with this black and white dwarf that's next to you, that's also giggling and having a great time, whoever he is. But yeah.
I start rolling around on the ground, start doing dirt angels.
All right.
I see this as a perfect opportunity to get into the temple right before anyone else does. So I do that and I change back to Lafcadio. And I find Kale. I said, I think they bought it, mate. Nossel's acting weird. I don't know what all that was about. But mission accomplished. Muted. Still muted.
We can't hear you. You are
I know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. I mean, I assume there was probably a lot of drinking and drug doing happening.
That's about it. Lots. Oh, I brought you some of that croc shank that you like, or that you requested.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
It's quite good. Thanks for turning me onto it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a trade delegation came through once. They had just gone through the Highmore, and they were coming past the fort, and they dropped some off, and it was really good. I only had it the one time, but opportunity came up. I started eating crocshank. Now, how long did this happen? Because you said the party was supposed to last until dawn.
It was most of the night that the party was happening. So you've got maybe 3 hours before dawn arrives, before the sun rises, when everyone in the village goes to sleep. But the rest of the party could have gone in whenever they wanted to.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Then, once you have all gone to sleep and been able to rest for the full 8 hours, you will wake up with the benefits of a full long rest, feeling well rested and excited to have a new day. Everything feels much better. The village just takes on this feeling of excitement as the day dawns, and so do you. It's almost infectious how happy this village is when they finally wake up and when you do. Since it was quite late that you went to sleep, it'll be about noon before you actually wake up.
Literally infectious, or
no, not literally.
Okay, not literally. That could be a thing here. We're in the place where that
could be a thing. It could be a thing. Now, on this particular day, what's the plan for you all? Raziel will actually, once she delivers Taslin back to the temple, she'll inquire about what's your plan. Are you gonna go home?
Well, we have to get the woman out of the tree.
Excuse me?
The lady we put in the tree wrote a note, said we'll be back.
Oh, right.
We have a boat to get back.
What's up? We've all had our quest, Gale. How about your own? You'd be looking for your ma, ain't you?
I was, and I suppose I still am in a way.
I mean, we've all had. You've all been with us to all of our quest.
Is my quest dying?
No, you still be there. But what I'm also
That's
saying
right.
is Kale's been with us the whole time, and he ain't never spoke up once.
Indeed.
I just feel as though we had much more important things to do, and we sort of still do, actually. And I'll hold up the book, or I'll mention the book if I don't have it. I imagine I give it to Lefkadia, but yeah, we need to figure out what's going on with this book, and I have to find somewhere to put the scythe.
Can I roll an insight check and see if Kale's just uncomfortable about the situation in general, about his mom and his family problems, so he's just coming up with numerous ways to get out of it?
I don't think you need to roll an insight check if that's what you think your character would believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would.
What I do need, before the conversation gets too deep, is everyone who has thus far partaken of any food or drink provided to them by a creature of the Fae while they're in the Feywild to roll a charisma saving throw at disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
17.
That was a charisma? I have a nat 1.
Right.
One of them has a 3.
And Nos?
19.
19. Okay. Nos and Lafcadio. You guys. I couldn't hear myself. Oh. Okay, fair enough. So Nos and Lafcadio, you guys, everything's fine. Everything's the same as it was. Every day, you're all good. Wampum and Tazlin, however, are unwilling to leave the Feywild today.
Hey, no problem. We don't have to leave. Here,
Yeah.
I'll tear off a piece of fabric and wrap it around their eyes and just kind of lead them towards where we're going without telling them that we're doing anything. And she's like, just trust me. I'll have I ever led you astray before?
Yes.
No. Name it. Name when.
I can't think back that far.
That's right. Because it doesn't exist.
Right now
I
seems
don't know
like
if Haslam would let himself get blindfolded.
If it was,
He'd like
Totally
flutter
allowed
her hand
people.
away and be like, "We're in the middle of a conversation, please."
Okay, no, I'll let you end the conversation. But then trust me with this.
if it was anybody but ye, I'd be punching their lights out.
I'm aware. I appreciate the trust.
So, Kale brings up a good point about this book. I think it's very important that we get it. Well, we have an idea of what it does, and we have an idea of who can put it to use, or I have an idea anyway of who could put it to use. That fella that you gave the vision back to, he suggested that there was some lady here in the Feywild that was somehow linked to this book. Do you think it's worth trying to find her, or are you happy to let me bring this treasure back to the folks who told me about it?
Well, we should probably bring it back to them first, because it seems like they might know more things about it. Yeah, if, failing that, we could check Candlekeep. I had a vision that I was surrounded by books, and there's a lot of them there.
Did you fall asleep?
No. So, yeah, those are our two current options. But also, I really just the longer I carry this scythe around, the more uncomfortable I get with it.
I'm more than happy to carry it around.
Yeah. So, ignoring him, does anyone have a good suggestion as to someone we trust with a secure vault or something? I was kind of thinking the Wind Dukes might be okay with it.
Another plane would be good.
Yeah, but we can always buy one in Waterdeep.
We could. We have the we have the gold.
Buy a safe?
Hmm Buy a vault for our own.
Well, then someone would have to stay with it. We couldn't lug it
Right.
around with us.
Perhaps
No.
we could encounter an enchanter to create a portable vault for us to carry around.
I was gonna suggest. I like your exterior plane idea. I like that. Alternatively, if you wanted to keep it on the material plane, if those guys at the flying castle sure seemed really well equipped.
They have a wizard who has a space in another plane that would love that site.
They seem really well equipped, but that wizard we spoke to, whose name
The wizard wasn't there.
Well,
the
that
wizard
was
doesn't need to be there.
that
Yeah.
was our patron, though, right? And when we got to the flying castle, they said you have to talk to this guy.
I'm talking specifically about that Aaron guy.
I don't know how I feel about the castle. I need to know more about the people who
But
own
then
the castle.
we'd be putting our faith in other people.
I have no idea who these people
I think that's
are.
a good idea. I think it's a good idea to involve other people in this.
Yes, depending on the people.
Are we at where we're going yet? Because this blind will get your attention.
Oh no, sorry, you can take that off
we
for now.
haven't
Sorry,
even left yet, Wampum.
Yeah.
not yet.
Nos,
Not yet. Time.
And we're not going to leave. It's
Nos, before you fell into the lava, did you have any unfinished things you wanted to do prior to dying?
Yes, so much.
And would you say that we most often encounter danger almost everywhere we go?
Uh-huh.
So, do you think maybe Kale should see his mother if this maybe is only chance that we have to be here?
That is not my call. That is Kale's call. It has everything to do with him alone, nothing to do with me. So, I'm not going to
Just
answer
wanted
that.
perspective.
I get that, and I understand where you're coming from. Just to let you know, that's not something any of us should be putting input on. You know, regardless of what the truth is behind anything, it's really none of our business.
Well, Elf,
Thank you, Nos.
For the record, Kale, I would absolutely be your muscle and strength in any endeavors that you required in order to get to where you wanted to go in that, you know what I mean.
and I hate to say it, but yeah, I'd put the axe in there too.
Aw.
And you'll have my spell book.
So,
Well, great.
are we going to see your ma?
I think it's more important for us to deal
I
with.
don't care what you thinking, what you feel.
I feel
Kale,
like
why don't you want to see your mom?
I would like to, but not as much as I would like to secure the world-ending artifact.
It's been
Just
fine in our
first.
possession so far.
Yeah, so far.
So 1 or 2 days more travel shouldn't be too risky of it.
Yeah, but where does that line of thinking end?
Right.
It's like this day, and then the next day, and then 5 more minutes, and then 5 more minutes.
Look, if we're just going to drop it off somewhere, then, that doesn't seem inherently dangerous, and it doesn't seem like it would take a very long amount of time. It's weirding me out how much you guys are concerned about me and my business. When, the whole world could be ended if somebody got a hold of this thing.
Right? Guys,
Or
you're acting weird.
potentially this
You're
other
acting
thing.
real weird.
It's this damn place that we in. Get me out of here.
So, yes, Lafcadio, what were you going to say?
I don't. Well, I was going to continue the discussion, but it was,
Fair enough. I was to kind of move us along here. With this discussion and Kale being fairly adamant that now is not quite the right time, I would imagine, at least, you would understand that if he's going to confront or meet his mother again, probably best do it when he doesn't have to worry about all of those kinds of things. So you all begin to make your way back. Anyone, Kale, Raziel, anyone can tell you where the nearest way back is. There is a portal to the material plane not far from here. And as our heroes make their way through the portal towards the material plane,
I ain't going. I told you that.
you've been
Blindfolded.
blindfolded. You've been blindfolded and convinced to walk through.
Well,
Before
before
we would go,
Yeah.
Tazlin would ask Raziel for a token. Like how he gave her a piece of his hair.
Okay. Right.
I told you we ain't going till Kale sees his mom.
I will cast Calm Emotions on anybody who doesn't want to leave.
Well, I don't want to not leave. I have to make a wisdom save?
Yeah.
Wisdom save. That is a 6.
You're calm.
You are
Oh, 10. Nope, yeah, 10.
You are also calm.
in terms of a trinket, a token, she will pull a lock of hair, or cut a lock of hair from her head, which she'll then, using a little bit of magic, fold it over into a flower, tie it up, and present that to you.
Okay. Tazlin will stow it away very safe. It is Rose.
I don't know what I was thinking, but get me the hell out of here.
Yeah, we
That's-
really don't have any need to be here any longer.
That's more like it.
Okay. Kale, were you going to say something?
No.
You were going to interrupt me. No? Okay. Alright. Then, with our heroes passing back into the material plane, we will leave the rest of the adventure for another time and another DM. So we will end our session here. And this is where I bid farewell to the half-rate heroes right now. I am not leaving Crituitous RP. You will still find me DMing the World of Horror game, but we are passing over the reins of the DM ship for this adventure as our heroes return to the material plane to another. Carl, do you want to give some details on that?
Sure. Yes, we are actually going to be taking a break for 2 weeks while we get the new DM up to speed. That means we'll be returning on May the 12th, and that'll also be at a new time. Our new DM will be DM Jazzy Hands. He is best known as the DM of the Last Refuge podcast. He is also the author of the Seasons of Fairy adventure, conveniently an adventure set in the Feywild, and also conveniently available on DriveThruRPG and DM's Guild right now. He will be joining us on Sundays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. But as Teo has said, he is going to be gracing us with his velvety dulcet tones in the World of Horror game Tuesday nights, and again that is from 9 to 11 Eastern.
So make sure you follow our Twitter. We are at Crituitous RP, because all details will be shared with their announcements of when we come back and all of that. Follow us here, subscribe if you can, because we need to show DM Jazzy Hands the love that I've received from all of you. It has been a pleasure to play with each of these wonderful adventurers and heroes, and it'll be good to see them move on with their adventure beyond.
And also, I think there are some announcements. Graham, did you have something?
Oh, yeah. I wrote a little farewell for Teo because he's great. Let me pull it up real quick. Teo, we may not be full-rate heroes, but you damn well made sure we were at least half right. From challenges in Neverwinter to the plains of elemental danger, we have lost some companions and gained some new ones. However, we hope that all of these experiences and stories will stay with you, and in your adventures to come, we wish you the very best. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Graham. Thank you. This has been a lot of fun. It really has. It is sad to step down, but I will be watching the show as it continues. You'll find me in the rebroadcasts more than anything else. Okay. Right. Before we do close off, does anyone have anything else that they wanted to plug? Casey?
Standard plug, 5 p.m. Greyhawk Channel, Fridays. Eunice, the Halfling Barbadron. Catch me there.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great couple of weeks, and we'll see you when we jump back in. And I'll see most of you on Tuesday. Bye.
See you guys. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.